Hi folks, this is Rose from In Rose's Garden, and today we're going to work on an anklet, and we're going to use some of this little Veri Peri Dangle beads, beaded chain, and our Let's Be Mermaid Siren kit. So let's turn down and we will see how we want to do this. Okay, I've got this chain, and as you see, the little beads will dangle down. But I don't want to just have this. I want a little bit something more. So I think we're going to break it in a few spots, and we're going to put in some little beaded pieces in between. But we're not going to want very big ones because we don't want them much bigger than our little chain pieces. So I'm thinking maybe just 1 or 2 beads in amongst it. Like maybe this, though this will end up being about 2 links worth. And yeah, I think that will be pretty. So let's get some more of these out. We'll want at least 3 sections like this. Come on, I know we have some more of those. There we go. And there's one of them. And there's another. So we're going to break our chain in a few places. And we're going to add one of these little pieces like this into it. So we'll take out, say, this section right here. Take this away. Do a little beaded piece in there. And then hook our chain back onto it, go on to the next section, and so on and so on. Now, we're going to have to decide sort of how long we want our sections. We'll have to make our sections up first, see how long they are, so that we know how much space they're going to take up. Because the anklet is usually about 9 inches. Yes, 9 inches, maybe a little longer. And we don't want to over make it, obviously. So now if we wanted something a little fancier in, say, the middle portion of it, where it would hit your ankle bone about, your outer ankle, we could change it to something else, like maybe one of these little porcelain beads. But I don't want to make it too chunky, so I think we'll stick with these and just break it in between. I think that'll look really cool. And then if you wished to, you could put a little charm or something at the end where your connection is, or even do a swinging piece of chain off of this and hang a dangle right in the middle here where it hits your outer ankle bone where everybody's going to see it. So we can decide if we want to do that as we go along. These are cute little wrapped bits of seed beads. Anyway, I'm going to get a couple of little spacers and some wire out so we can make the little connections here. And we'll get started on that. My original thinking was I was going to use some regular wire to do this. But the more I think about it, the more I think I will just use some SoftFlex to connect it, because we have that lovely bendability in it. Now this one was a off-color one, which I bought on sale. I believe it was supposed to be tanzanite, and it's a little more purpley, but look at how well that matches. So I think this is what we're going to use. And so I'm going to, and then I've gotten some spacers out to go between our beads, and I've got some itty bitty teeny weeny oval jump rings. These are what's going to connect it onto our chain, so that I don't have to try and figure out if I've got the right length right off the bat. Though I could, because I think I don't want to cut extra, though. I don't want to waste any of our pretty chain if I don't have to. So let's see, how much is 9 inches to way down here. These are going to be about, not, they'll probably be close to an inch when we're finished making them, because they're about this size. And then with the spacer and then with the loop for the SoftFlex, it will be about an inch. So that's about 3 inches. And then we want to leave about half an inch at least for our clasp. So I'm thinking we could cut 6 inches of this. And maybe, anyway, we're going to cut about 6 inches. So we'll cut right here where this little link is, right here. Cut this little baby off. And it will dump a link when you cut your chain, because where they're attached is where our little baby chain piece falls into place. He's right here. We'll put him aside. And then we'll put the rest of our chain aside too, because this is all we're going to use. So we're going to find the middle of our little chain here, and we're going to split it there, because that's where we're going to put our first link in. It's going to be our middle link, so it would be about 3 inches. This is actually a little longer than 6 because of this link here falling where it did. Come on, baby. So let's just count our little 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 10. So we want it somewhere right here in the middle of here. So we'll cut this off right here. There goes our next little tiny ball. Oh, no, it stayed on. Cool. Excellent. No, it didn't. It's around here somewhere. We'll find her. She's on the floor. So, first thing we want to do is, now we are at 4, as you can see. But I do want that little link in there. So what I'm going to do, I'm fairly positive I do anyway, we'll see how we do this, is I'm thinking that do I want her sitting down, hanging down below? Or do I want her not laying down below? Well, we can make that decision when we actually hook it up, because we can hook it up separately later if we want. And I'm thinking I may be able to just directly hook the SoftFlex to the link. Let's see how these links lay. So up over you go, little one. You're not right. Oops, dropped it. I think I could do it either way. Hook it directly on, or hook it to a little link and then hook the link on afterward. If we put the little link in, we can then relink, I think, our little guy right here if we choose to do so. And I'm sort of thinking I do choose to do so. I think he looks sort of cute in there. So let's get started. We'll get a little bit of SoftFlex out and some crimps, and we'll get started on making this. I've gotten 6 crimps out, and we don't need a very long length of wire, but I may cut enough that I can do probably all 3 of them here, one after the other. And the first thing we'll want to do is crimp this one side. Now, I am going to crimp it with one of these teeny jump rings in there so that it has something to crimp around, and it gives me some idea of where I'm sitting at with it. So we're just going to leave a little loop here. Make sure our strings, our wire's not crossed. Get out our crimping tool and put that right in the middle of our divot and squish down. Turn it and squish it again. And you continue to turn it and squish until it forms a little ball and no longer squishes. See, I got a little tiny crimp in there. I mean, oval jump ring in there. So then we're going to put our beads on. Now these beads are big enough that the wire should go through. The holes are anyway. There it goes. Our spacer, our little purple coin. Well, oval coin. And then our other spacer. I mean our other bicone. So there it is. It's going to go in the center, and I'm really thinking we're going to put that little guy back on there when I attach this. So now we need our crimp again, and an oval jump ring. Now we pull this through. I like to go through a bead so that I don't have any extra wire hanging up on the end, if I can help it. Sometimes you can't. It's just the way it is. The beads are too small and you just can't do it. You have to just cut it right there. But we have room here, so we're going to use it. And now we have to get this centered in our, and sometimes when you're on your second crimp, this is a little easier said than done because you can't get exactly right beside the bead. You have to have just a touch of space here so that your crimp will go in the middle of it. Ease it up a little bit so you can get in the middle, and then squish. Turn. Once you have that done, get in, take and cut your excess wire off. And there's one of our little pieces that's just going to go in the middle here. Like I say, I do believe I am going to hook this little guy on when I put this piece in. I think I like that better. In fact, let's do that right now. So let's get a couple pair of pliers. We'll open up this teeny jump ring on one side. Now this guy is small. He's very, very small, in fact. So he's not going to give you a lot of room to work. Now Now when you put this on, make sure that you are going with the drop the same direction, otherwise you're going to want to pull it off and fix it. So as I say, they're not giving you a lot of room to work with, these itty bitty guys, but they have less of a oh, come on, you. They have less of a what do you call it, profile. Than the bigger ones. Oh, good. So now this looks like this. So now we'll want to hook it on the other side, but I did drop my little guy, so I'm going to have to find him before we hook him on. So I'm going to go look for him right now. He did not want to be found, so we're going to cut this one right here because that will put it at the same place as the other side anyway. And we're going to cut this little guy off. Make sure not to lose this guy. We'll put this little link aside. We may want it for something later. And then we're going to attach this to this side. So we'll open up the jump ring on this side. Now, we want to make sure we put our little link in the right way. Oops, we're going to drop him, huh? You need to go on first. You want to be sure that you're getting your links the right direction here. Okay, I think it goes this way. This is very small working space, so I'm trying to stay on camera for you at the same time as being able to see what I'm doing. I hope I'm succeeding with that. Okay. Okie dokie. Oops, banging things here. Put this other side, tighten it up. Oop, don't slide off. Come on, baby. Making sure this is closed well. Okay. Now we'll make the other two pieces of breaks. Oop, go over. And put them in along the edge here. I'm thinking at 3 here. and then we'll have the others go around to meet your clasp. So we'll cut it here where the 3 is, and then we're going to do exactly the same thing we just did with these. We're going to put our little ball back in place, and we'll crimp these all together. So the first thing we want to do, of course, is crimp our little things here, and I think I'll just do both of them right now instead of doing them and then putting them into place right away. So we'll get these done and then put them in place. Now this time I got to be careful not to squish my crimp in the crimping pliers. I mean not the crimp, we do want to squish the crimp, but the jump ring. Okay. I have to get a new little jump ring out since I destroyed that one. Oops. That's all right. Okay, that seems to be good. There's our next one here. And we'll start on the last one. We'll have to get the other Now this is about the least wire I will use because I like to have enough that when I turn it back in, I can easily turn it instead of being really tight. If you only have a little bit, you will have difficulties getting it turned and into your crimp. So I always give myself a little bit of extra. I'd rather have extra that I have to throw away than have to restart because I can't get it to crimp. Okay. So here we go with our little bead strands. We're going to get those now put into our little anklet. Now I did not put anything in here, but I still could put another tiny jump ring with a little chain here and hang a little dangle here, which I may do because I think I would like the look of that. So let's split the chain right here where we want to put our other dangles in. Here, where our little bead is going to fall off, as we all know. that aside till we need it. And here. So now that we've got those pulled apart, we'll put our little dangle on, as well as our beads with our little oval jump rings. So let's get started doing that again. Come on, baby, gotta find your split. There it is. Twist her open carefully. And now we're gonna put on our little, come on, stay open for me. Put on this little guy. And then this little guy. You know, I wanted a low profile, but these are fighting so much, I'm beginning to wonder if I shouldn't have gone up with my mid-size of my jump rings rather than the teeny weeny. Which I can always change if I wanted to, because, hey, they're mine and I'm doing it. I have a size that's just a slightly bit bigger, and I may try these and see if these work all right, and if they're making too much of a heavier look to them. Let's see. Oh, baby, on you go. For such a simple thing, it's fighting me, isn't it? Okay. The dangle and our chain piece. Let's make sure I got these going the right way, though. Now let's see if this will even fit on here, because with the bigger, it has a slightly larger wire. It slipped on quite easily, but easier than it has been. Well, maybe we'll just switch them out. See how much of more of a bigger look that looks. Well, you know, I think I even like it better. So I think we're going to switch the other ones to this bigger size of jump ring, which is not that big of a deal. Take us a few minutes to do it, but we can do it. So let's just take these teeny ones off because they're giving us problems anyway. They don't really want to hang right to me. See how it wants to hang and get snagged up. So I think it does need a slightly bigger one. So don't use your tiniest ones if you have these tiny ones. If you make this anklet, let's go to the slightly bigger ones. Trial and error. It's the way we do our business here. If at first you don't succeed, try something a little different. And we were succeeding. Obviously it was working. It's just they were just a tiny bit tight with these teeny ones. So we're going to take the teeny ones off. Now if I hadn't put the extra little link in, the teeny ones would have worked perfectly. But I did decide to put the extra little one in, so it did put up a bit of a fight, and we don't want to fight. If it's fighting you when you're working on it, then it's probably going to fight you in finishing it off. So let's just put these slightly larger. As you can see, they're not that much larger, just a teeny bit, but they are big enough larger that they are not giving us quite the hassle that the other ones were. Now I think let's see if we got everything straight here with this section. Looks like yes. I'm going to fix this. I'm going to change these ones out here now and do the last one. So now I think we have them all changed to the bigger size. Now we need to put the last section in over here on this side. So we'll take off the tiny jump rings. And since these were never put on, they weren't damaged much, so I will just keep these instead of throwing them away like I did the other ones. There we go. So we need to get this, take this last piece off right here, since we want just the 3 drops and we want it hooked right where the 3 drops are at. So we'll take this baby off, and we have our little link here. So we want to attach our piece here with our link on top, and then our little bit of chain. See, we get the chain the right way. And then hook her back together. Tighten her back up. There she goes. Now we want to put our 2-link piece on over here. And of course we need the extra link off again, the extra little piece here. So we'll clip that right there. And then we have our drop and our 2 pieces, then our pieces here. So we'll put our drop on and our link on, and then we'll be ready to check its sizing and see if we're pretty good as far as size is concerned, and put on a clasp. And if I decide to put something here, I can do that right now too. So we open up our link here, put our little dangle on, and our chain piece. Let's see, make sure we have it the right way. Okay, so we want the dangle to the bottom, so right here. Okay, tighten that baby up. Much simpler with these slightly bigger jump rings, and they really are just slightly bigger. Okay, so now let's get a hold of our baby here. See if we need to twist anything around here. This looks like it's a little bit off right on this. Oh, it's just fine. Okay, so that's what it looks like. When we come around, we'll put a clasp on here, and there's going to be what our anklet is going to look like, with just whatever we decide to do to finish it off, especially if I decide to put something here, which I could take these 2 little links, drop them right here, and maybe put a dangle right there, like so. Let's see. We'll see what we're going to do. Anyway, so now we need to check its sizing, which, here's my sizer here. Go around, and so right there is a little bit less than 9. So once we put the link for the lobster claw and the lobster claw on, it should hit just right about 9. So let's get a lobster claw out and another jump ring for it to attach to, and we'll get that done. Got one of these type of lobster claws. I call them thumbnail claws because you just push them in with your thumb instead of having a lever to push. And we're going to put that on one side with one of these little and we'll put the other on. This is a slightly larger yet oval jump ring. It's not my largest size, but I really don't want to use my largest size if I can get away with it. So we're going to hook these guys on, and then we will again check our size, and then we'll decide if we want to put a dangle here where the ankle bone would be at. That end. Now I'm not sure that whether this end will even go in this, because these are slightly bigger wire, and we'll have to see. If it won't, then we'll put the other little oval jump ring in, and it goes in fine. So great, we don't have to use another jump ring to hold it up. So let's hook this baby together, then we'll put her on the sizer and see how she looks. Snap it into place and drop her down on the sizer. And as you can see, she's now 9 1/4, so plenty long enough. This one needs to flip the other direction here. It wants to be a little bit the other way, but that's all right. So there is our anklet, and like I say, we will decide now if we want to put on another dangle. Now, if we do, this is going to be the inside of your ankle, this will be the outside, and this will be more or less up on the top of your foot. As you can see, it's not quite where it would sit right dab on the top of your foot, but I don't know how we would do that without putting in another, at least a little more spacing. And we don't want any more spacing, it's plenty big enough now. So let's decide if we want to put in something here. Now if we do put something here, we'd want to hook it either with a jump ring right onto the bead strand, like here and here, which there may not be enough room for that. Let's see how much room we have here. We have enough for one jump ring, maybe both of them. We could jump ring it, yeah, right there. And then we could bring these two little bars in that we cut off. See how close they would get. And then something more right here. We'll have to decide, but let's get... I don't think we want to jump ring it to this other jump ring though, because we don't want to take up what space we have for our dangles, because they will get upset like they did with the tinier one. So we're going to jump ring it. We could jump ring it right here to this loop, but we're probably going to put them right here on either side of the beads. So we'll do, let's see how that looks first off. Putting one in place. So we'll grab one of these little bars and we'll put it right here beside the crimp tube. Tighten this baby up. As you see, it will dangle here and head to we can get it to go to this direction by simply hooking it to something over here. Let's see how far we will dangle here. Maybe not all the way over. We'll have to see. So we'll go with this next one. Put it on the other side. Put it right here. So now we need to close that baby up. The little loop was right there, and I was afraid I was going to bend it if I tightened that just now. So, okay, now we have these two little bars on, and they'll go this way, but as you can see, they're not going to meet. So if we want them to meet, we're either going to have to bring something in here to make them meet, like for instance this other little bar. But if we were to put that little bar in, it's going to make the dangle drop quite a bit. And I don't think I want it to drop that much, especially since once this is put in place, I want something else to dangle from it. So the question becomes then, will a jump ring or two bring it together? Or will it pull it apart, not be enough? And if we do one is going to bring it way too tight, is going to be too tight. So we can't do just one. We'd have to do 3 because we want this one to be heading downwards so that we want a middle one for our dangle to hang from. So we're going to go to the medium-sized ones again. And we're going to get 2 more out. And we're going to put these on the bars. Oops, where'd my bars go? Over there. Okay. We'll just put them on and then close them up because we're going to put a third one in between them. Well, if we can get them to go on. That's number 1. No dropsies. Number 2 is here. So now those are together like that. And now we need to put our middle one in with whatever we're going to use as a dangle. And I'm thinking if I can find that little one I dropped, we'll just put one of these little dangles in here. So let's go search. Okay, we've got him, but his little link he was attached to is gone. So I'm going to take this Dinky Winky one and hook it to him since the one is gone. And then hook it to that. And since it's only the one little thing, it should be all right with just this guy. Now I'm closing him right now because it doesn't matter because I've got to open that other one to put everything on. So we're going to do that. So open this guy and he'll go on this one. And then I'm going to put our little link on. Come on, baby, go on. And then our last side here. Now you want to make sure these rings all go in the right direction when you put them on, or it's going to kink as it finishes. So that's why I'm trying to be very careful and get this on the right way. Okay, got her that time. And then close her up quickly before she can escape again. There we go. See how that hangs? Isn't that cute? Now that's going to, there we go. And so that'll hang like that. And there's our anklet all finished. I hope you like that. I think it looks really cute. I think it turned out really nicely, even if it did fight me for a while. This is our anklet using our Let's Be Mermaids Siren mix. That's these beads here. And our Veri Peri Dangle Chain. Isn't that cute? So anyway, that is our anklet from using our Let's Be Mermaids Siren mix and the Veri Peri Dangle Chain. So our little dangles will go downward like that, and then we have our little cute little drop down here, right, which will fall by your ankle. And I believe it is about 9 1/4 or 9 1/2 inches in length when it's finished. And it looks like it's just 9 1/2. So it's slightly bigger anklet than I normally would make. Excuse that noise, sorry. So it's a little bit bigger anklet than I normally would make, but I think it's adorable. It's very, very cute. So anyway, this has been Rose from In Rose's Garden, making our anklet using the Jessie James beads, Let's Be Mermaids Siren, and the Veri Peri Dangle Chain. Hope you enjoyed making this with me, and we'll see you later. Bye-bye.